If you're a fan of old school bodybuilding, then make sure to check out Subs the Movie. Filmmaker Alex Ardenti explores the $40 billion sports supplement industry, delving into the origins, evolution, and current state of supplements used by millions of fitness enthusiasts worldwide, available at Amazon and Vimeo. Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookham here, and today we're going to be looking at Steve Reeves' actual Mr. America pre-contest routine. Back on the night of June 29th, 1947, a young 21-year-old Steve Reeves would go on to not just win the Mr. America title, but would introduce a new era in bodybuilding history. His crowning as Mr. America heralded in the era of the Classic Physique and the ideal to emulate. To quote from Iron Man magazine, volume 7, issue 5, with Steve Reeves on the cover, quote, "Most of the audience left the auditorium amazed that such a muscularly perfect specimen existed. It was unbelievable that anyone could have such huge muscular size and yet retain the perfect balance in proportions, the excellent separation that Steve Reeves displayed. Here was a man who combined the massive muscular development that appeals so much to barbell men with the broad shoulders and slender hips that the average man prefers. Here was a man who not only had a magnificent physique, but also combined it with a very handsome face crowned with a beautiful jet black curly hair, a magnetic personality, and a flashing smile that showed his ivory white teeth." End quote. I mean, I could just go on and on about this article. But in this article found in Iron Man, Volume 7, Issue 5, Ed Yarrick, Steve Reeves' trainer, details the exact routine that he gave Steve Reeves to train for the Mr. America title. This full body workout is considered very strenuous, I need to add that, and please remember that it was performed by Steve Reeves after 5 years of training, and it was his pre-contest routine, and pre-contest routines tend to be higher in volume and rather extreme. For the chest, Steve Reeves would perform the bench press with wide grip for 3 sets, the incline press for 3 sets as well. And by the way, just need to note there that this exercise, the incline press, was actually invented by Ed Yarrick. For shoulders, Steve Reeves would perform side presses for 2 sets and front raises for 2 sets as well. The curl and press was also used to kind of tie in the bicep with the shoulder area, performing that for 2 sets. For the back, Steve Reeves would perform the pull-up behind the neck for 3 sets and the 45-degree latissimus pulley row, which I recently spoke about in the Marvin Eder video that I did on upper back training, and he would perform this for 3 sets. It was actually a very popular exercise for the latissimus development back in the Silver era and was also advocated, of course, by the great iron guru that is Vince Gironda. Arms, Steve Reeves would perform the bent arm curl behind the neck for 2 sets, the triceps bench curl extension, that is, it's basically a triceps extension for 2 sets, the incline bench curl, of course, for his arms as well as for his biceps, one of Steve Reeves' favorite exercises for biceps. He would actually perform 6 sets in total for this particular exercise. And legs, well, moving on to legs now, he would perform squats for 4 sets and leg curls for 4 sets, as well as calf raises on the leg press machine for 4 sets. Finally, for the lower back, Steve Reeves would also perform good mornings on the Roman chair for 2 sets. I have to admit, it's unfortunate that the article in Iron Man doesn't actually specify the repetitions, but knowing from Steve Reeves' books, he always enjoyed the 8 to 12 range in most of his exercises and slightly higher range of reps for legs, more like 15 to 20, and even for calves going up to 25 repetitions. Now, as an example of the poundages that Steve Reeves could handle, at least as specified by Ed Yarrick again in this awesome magazine article from Iron Man magazine, and also just to understand the kind of Herculean strength that Steve Reeves possessed at the time, understand that Steve Reeves worked up to using 400 pounds on the squat. 400 pounds, and not for 1 rep, for 20 repetitions. Yes, Steve Reeves used the 20 rep squat as performed in his Mr. America competition routine, and not only that, he performed a total of 4 sets. Just let that sink in for a minute. 4 sets of heavy 20 rep squats using up to 400 pounds. Now that says a lot about Steve Reeves' strength, and it says a lot also about the 20 rep squat. For incline dumbbell curls, Steve Reeves would use 70-pound dumbbells, performing up to 6 repetitions, not an easy task. Finally, for the calf raise on the leg press, Steve Reeves would use 450 pounds for at least 20 to 25 repetitions. Not only should these poundages used by Steve Reeves demonstrate his incredible Herculean strength, but the nature of the program itself, being extremely advanced, should really tell you about how advanced his training was and how advanced this routine really is. Notice that most of the exercises performed were compound exercises executed with very heavy weight with only a few select isolation movements. Even for these, Steve Reeves would use impressive poundages. Now, looking at Steve Reeves' diet for the Mr. America competition, Steve's diet consisted of plenty of salads, meat, lots of vegetables and milk. Actually, he used to drink liters of milk daily up to the competition. I will actually follow this video with a future video detailing Steve's exact Mr. America diet, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the kind of foods that he ate in his diet leading up to the Mr. America in 1947. Now, some of you may have read Building the Classic Physique the Natural Way by Steve Reeves and think that the Classic Physique workout he details in the book was the be-all and end-all of Steve Reeves' bodybuilding methods. That is, it was the only method or workout that he ever did, and I hate to say that you are sorely mistaken. Such thinking would be extremely naive and extremely limiting, and would actually belittle Steve Reeves' knowledge in bodybuilding. I mean, that's just really small kind of thinking. If you have read Building the Classic Physique the Natural Way by Steve Reeves correctly, Steve clearly states in that book that during his bodybuilding career, he performed many different types of workouts using many different types of bodybuilding principles. Ed Yarrick also clearly states that in this particular article from Iron Man magazine, stating that Steve Reeves used many different programs over his 5 years training with him at his gym. Of course, he would know. Ed Yarrick was his actual trainer. Now, if you're interested in learning more about Steve Reeves' Mr. America routine and the routine and bodybuilding methods of the Silver Era greats, please head to my website, and you will find there this issue of Iron Man magazine, that is volume 7 issue 5 with Steve Reeves on the cover, as well as all the previous volumes that I have up there of this magazine as downloadable PDFs, as well as PDFs of the Reg Park Journal and many other ebooks and magazines that I have on offer at www.goldenerabookroom.com, such as the Shapely Physique, which was the book that preceded Steve Reeves' Building the Classic Physique the Natural Way, as well as many other ebooks from Steve Reeves and the Silver Era legends. So I do hope you have enjoyed this look at Steve Reeves' 1947 Mr. America routine. As mentioned previously, I will be bringing you the Steve Reeves diet for the 1947 Mr. America in a future video, so stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, then please give the video a like, subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and leave me your comments, and click the bell button to be notified of future videos. That's it from me. This is the Golden Era Bookworm saying bye for now. Now, if you're interested in learning more about Vince Gironda's approach to bodybuilding, his principles, and all these tips of wisdom that he has, I mean, there's so much stuff that probably hasn't been proven by science, and it will take science to prove or disprove Vince. But to be honest, these 3 books, I believe, which I call the Classic Physique Bundle, are the best books that Vince ever came out with. And they, of course, are the Wild Physique, the Master Series, and the Pro Series. Have a look at it this way. The Wild Physique, I believe, is like the ABCs of Vince Gironda's principles to bodybuilding. He teaches you the exercises and his principles, but how do you put them together? Well, the Master Series is a 14-month program of using all of these principles, all of the diets that Vince came out with, all of the exercises, and believe me, it's a brilliant, brilliant program. Many people have used it. I know personally a lot of bodybuilders that have actually used it and made fantastic results with it. And of course, the Pro Series was a book that he came out with later on, specially targeted for getting into competition. It's just these 3 books, as I call it, the Classic Physique Bundle, Vince's best work, and available, of course, at www.goldenerabookroom.com. Now, the Pro Series of Bodybuilding, which was targeted for professional bodybuilders, contains 6 programs, each of which go for 2 months each. So it's a whole year, again, in preparation for competition. Online training is now available, including my new program, Novice to Classic, a program geared towards beginners and novices looking at developing a classic physique, as well as Classic Cut, geared at those who wish to lose weight and gain muscle fast. Details available at www.goldeneraBooking.com. Need a bodybuilding poster for your gym or office? Then check out Iron Man Magazine archive.smugmug.com for the highest quality posters on the planet. Scroll through the galleries of all the legends, including greats such as Arnold, Frank Zane, Sergio Oliva, Serge Nubret, Tom Platz, and Larry Scott, and much, much more, and select your poster now. Your favorite YouTube channel, please visit teespring.com/store/goldenerabookworm for merchandise, including t-shirts, hoodies, face masks, phone cases, and much, much more. Once again, at teespring.com/store/goldenerabookworm. Become a patron at www.patreon.com/goldenerabookworm for hard to find books, scans of rare photos, and articles on the golden era of bodybuilding. To take full advantage of my collaborations, use code GEB20 with NSPnutrition.com and VinceGironda.com, as well as code Bookworm12 at OSL.com for a discount at checkout.
I don't think that Bill Phillips looked at it as, I want to compete against them. I want to destroy them.
If they pass legislation basically making any type of food supplement a prescription item, that would be the end, the death of the entire food supplement industry.
Take your vitamin pill now.
In the 1960s, the sports supplement industry was barely emerging.
I think the reason why Joe Weider was so successful was he had Arnold on his side.
He wasn't selling supplements. He was in the dream business.
Joe Weider was a marketing genius.
People would say the promotions or the endorsements back then were cheesy. To me, it wasn't. I loved it.
Fitness was taking off. You know, fitness became cool. You had a lot of readers that wanted to be like the stars that they idolized.
Bill's strength is his marketing savvy. He's a marketing genius.
Got it. It's only vitamin.
The right of American citizens to have free access to dietary supplements of their choice.
Consult your physician. You might as well consult the next guy you meet on the street. They don't know a damn thing about vitamins and nutrition.
The dietary supplement industry became the #2 most regulated industry. Nuclear, dietary supplements, pharmaceutical. We're more regulated than drugs.
They come in and you need to allow the FDA. They have jurisdiction.
The enforcement is kind of the questionable side of it, and how do they really get a handle on this monster?
A lot of people tell me that the dietary supplement industry is completely unregulated. It's the wild, wild west out there. It's a free-for-all. That could not be further from the truth.
A dietary supplement is not allowed to have a side effect. I always say that pharmaceutical has to have a minimum of 100 side effects in order for it to be a drug.
And now, it's a $40 billion industry and growing.
That's the really interesting thing, is the cast of characters from the 80s, when it was kind of iffy, to now when it's a lot more legitimate.
They made it sound cutting edge, revolutionary, and different, and I want that. That's cool.
We are in this industry to improve our health. It's not just a vanity project here. We're working on our lifeline. We eat a certain way to improve our health. We train a certain way to improve our health. Supplements are just that. They supplement your work, your graft, your nutrition.
They demonize dietary supplements, but they say all you need is real food. Well, what's a real food?
They pump you up and get you hard, stronger, faster, bigger.
Doc, I want to take this weight gain. I want to take this pre-workout. Doctor's, no way. That stuff, we don't know what's in that. It could be, no way. I'm not going to give you, it's going to kill the industry, bottom line.
So I must have drank so much protein powder from age 15 to 18 that my head was going to explode.
I believed in metrics so much that I would probably punch somebody in the face if they tried to take it away from me.